Hey, what's up guys? I'm testing out OBS. One of my biggest complaints with this game, I'm sure you've heard anybody else who plays this game has pretty much echoed this a million times, is it uses NProtect GameGuard, which is pretty much, not to put it nicely, the cancer of anti-hack protection. I really don't know why they use it at all, because this game is very different from most MMOs. Like, you can't trade anything unless you pay for premium, and in the current, yen to US dollar conversion, it's like $10 for premium for a month just to be able to trade. So people who do real money trading and stuff like that, they don't really want to touch this game because they would have to spend $10 on every single account to trade. But they use it anyway, which means that most recording software blocks it. So I'm using OBS. I really don't care for OBS. I'm in the minority, I don't mind paying for XSplit. It makes my job easier, so I'm just kind of testing it out right now. I wanted to talk about my fighter build. Now, the fighter has two main stances, Brave Stance and Wise Stance. Brave Stance increases damage when you hit an enemy towards the front. Wise Stance is the opposite. I actually ran with, I put like 20 points into Wise Stance when I first started when they first added the fighter class, which was back at the beginning of episode 2, about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And I've been reading a lot of people, they've been saying that Wise Stance is really not too useful. It's a pretty situational, skill, because if you ever played this game, most of the enemies, their weak points are always on the front. And especially since they changed, they buffed the stances. It used to be, used to do 20% less damage if you hit them from the opposite direction, and that was pretty detrimental. Back then, switching stances was something you kind of had to do, unless you were okay with losing 20% damage. But now they've made it so, it does the same, it does 100% damage, even if you're in the opposite direction. So I went ahead and took that out. What I went with instead is I went with Limit Break. Limit Break is like the biggest damage output potential that you have on this class. It gives you an extra 20% damage at the expense of pretty much cutting your HP down to nothing. There's also Limit Break Photon Charge, which gives you all your photon points back. What you do is you use these. Before they added Limit Break, I always found these really useless, because in this game it's pretty much either you survive something or you die. You can't really tank a lot of hits in this game, and if you can, you're really not playing the game optimally. In an MPA, with 12 people, all 12 of those people have 5 revives, so the only real reason to run like a tanking build is if you're like soloing by yourself and you're farming and you have like absolutely nobody who can help you. But now that they have Limit Break, actually all of these damage multipliers here, they actually count with Limit Break. So if you stun a boss, you get the weak point open, you can pop this and do like a metric ass ton of damage. This gives you more attack when your HP falls, so obviously it synergizes really well with Limit Break. 100 attack is really nice. This gives you more photon point recovery, which is pretty good. Depending on how much PP you have, you can go through it pretty fast. Like I usually switch to my Knuckles whenever I stun a boss and pop Limit Break, and this helps me to get like a couple PA combos off. Crazy Beat is the same thing. Once again, using Limit Break actually, the game considers it a status like effect, so you're pretty much going to be having like 300 attack plus this plus your Brave Stance. Tech Art's JA bonus is definitely one of the other better damage multipliers that you can use, and obviously since it's not tied to Limit Break, you can use it whenever you want. It does take a little bit of thought, to see which moves actually combo well together. It took me a while to figure that out. This was basically added to kind of circumvent the fact that people play this game and just spam the same move endlessly. If you're playing fighter, you definitely want to vary up your moves and find 3 moves that combo well together, because you're going to be missing out on 15% damage otherwise. I didn't really mess with Chase Advance too much. I've never really seen the status effects work on bosses, and bosses are pretty much the only thing that don't melt instantly. And even then, bosses go down pretty fast if you're in a party with people who have like semi-optimized gear. So I didn't bother with it this time. PP Slayer I'm going to max out. It actually is pretty useful when you're in limit break, even when you're not. Having 200 attack is pretty nice. I have Brave Stance maxed out. I don't really touch critical. Maybe if I'm able to get a crit build at some point, I'll go ahead and charge some more AC and get another build. I get all of the gear and the buff stuff that they added a couple months ago. These are all really good. All of the weapons on the fighter are really good. They just have a learning curve. Double Saber Wind Parry is basically a just guard, but the timing's really strict. It can be pretty awkward. I have the Meteor Cudgel, so I have double, gear accumulation rate. I will get a better Double Saber at some point, but Gal Griffin has not been too nice to me this past week, ever since I came back to the game. Twin Dagger Spin move is really great for repositioning yourself. Knuckle Gear Boost pretty much makes it so you're always at level 3, which is great since back at the beginning of episode 3 they removed pretty much all the hit stop off the Knuckles, which was one of the reasons why they were so bad. They had just like way too much hit stop for something that really only could hit a single target. There are a couple moves that can hit multiple targets, but not that many. For S attack, I pretty much just did the prerequisites. I really only have like 2 more points that I can use. I've maxed out. I've done pretty much all the client orders aside from I think I have 2 left, so I'll have 2 more points. I'm gonna max out PP Slayer and probably do Adrenaline or something like that. I put 5 points in the Step Advance. I know some people don't really like this, but on a fighter you have to realize you have very few defensive options. You have, your Twin Dagger or Double Saber Spin Parry, which is really nice, but it's pretty situational. It's often a lot better to just dash out of the way. Now, I used to actually have this maxed, but I took the points out because I wanted to put them into more important things, but as far as I know, like, if you max it out, you pretty much have, like, the whole dash is invincible. But 5 points is a pretty sweet spot. I put 1 point into Rare Mastery Fighter just to get a little extra. It's not worth putting anything else into it. It's too much, too many points for not a very good return. But yeah, that's pretty much my fighter build. I'm still working on my hunter. I really don't like playing the hunter class, to be honest. They've made them better and faster since the beginning of the game, but they're not really my cup of tea, so this tree that I have right now is pretty much just for the use of subclassing. If I ever do choose to level it up all the way to 75, and I actually want to use the gear and stuff, I'm probably just going to purchase another skill tree. But all of this stuff is just, to supplement using it as a subclass. And for melee classes, this is pretty much still the best, subclass that you can use, aside from some situational stuff. Some people use Bouncer, but Bouncer is like way too situational. The skill tree for Bouncer honestly is garbage. I never really cared for it too much. I leveled this class up all the way because I really like the Dual Blade and Jet Boots moveset, but they didn't really have a lot in the way of damage multipliers. And Element Stance sounds great on paper, but it's immensely expensive to actually get a rainbow set of a weapon and use it and, switch out all the time. But yeah, that's my little, tour of my build. I am not like a, top level player on this game. I've only put 500 hours into this, which, considering I've been playing this since the beta, and it's an MMO, 500 hours is really nothing in the grand scheme of things. I watch some people on Twitch and they have like 10,000 hours in this game, and their gear is like twice as good as mine, but this is pretty much what I use. I just actually reset to this build last night, actually, so so far it works pretty well. Limit Break is really only useful if you're soloing, or if you're in like a non-MPA, like being 4 people, like you're doing like a free field or something, and you have 4 people. If you're in an MPA, obviously no one's really going to care if you have Limit Break on or not, because everything's going to melt so fast. If people are actually using pretty decent gear, there's no reason to have this on. So if you mostly do MPAs, you may want to get another skill tree, and you can use those extra 5 or 6 points, actually all these points, and you can put them into something else. But honestly, there's really not a whole lot else to put it in. I guess you could get more raw attack power, but with all this stuff that you're going to get here, this is actually more useful. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Let me know how the quality is. I'm just testing this out with OBS because this game's stubborn, and NProtect GameGuard just like prevents you from using anything pretty much. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.